शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यं करवावहै। तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। Okay. 32. Shri Bhagavanuvāca. Sundariji, if you can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Shri Bhagavanuvāca.
Kalosmi lokakshayakrit pravriddhaha.
Kalosmi lokakshayakrit pravriddhaha.
Lokan samahartumiha pravrittaha.
Lokan samahartumiha pravrittaha.
Ritepi tvam na bhavishyanti sarve.
Ritepi tvam na bhavishyanti sarve.
Yeva sthitah pratyanikeshu yodhaha.
Yeva sthitah pratyanikeshu yodhaha.
Tasmat tvamuttishta yasho labhasva.
Tasmat tvam uttishta yasho labhasva.
Jitva shatrun bhukshva rajyam samriddham.
Jitva shatrum bhumshva rajyam samriddham.
Mayaivaite nihitah purvameva.
Mayaivaite nihita purvameva.
Nimittamatram bhavasavyasachin.
Nimittamatram bhavasavyasachin.
So last time we were looking at this phrase nimittamatram in an elaborate way. Because of the potential for it to make it appear like Arjuna, you have no choice. You have no choice in this matter. Not only you have no choice, you have no free will. Human beings have no free will. See, you have no choice in this matter is okay. In certain things, we don't have choice. That we know. That we know. There's no choice. No, we say there's no choice. I don't have any choice. We say. Means what? I'm able to choose, but I don't have choice. Okay? That's not what is maybe interpreted. Nityamatram. So, be an instrument in my hands. Means give up your free will. So we saw that. And we saw the consequences of assuming that this means human beings have no free will. We saw the consequences. What are those consequences? I list those things. So, Mahasamsari. Ishvara is a Mahasamsari. Why? Because human beings have no kartrutvam. Only Bhagavan has kartrutvam, and therefore Bhagavan must be a samsari because Punya Papam will go to Bhagavan. Okay? Only Karta will have Punyam and Pap. Therefore, Ishvara, Mahasamsari. So, Ishvara Samsaritvam. Then, Jivan Muktatvam or Jiva Muktatvam. Because we don't have free will. And assuming we had free will sometime, we are free, ever free, ever free. Because we are never ever going to get karma, punyam and papam. And because we will never have, if we had any papam, there's no chance to exhaust that papam also. And that means that the papam must have been exhausted. Only then free will go away. And so we are free. So the consequence is Jiva Muktatvam. We are free. We're free. And then somebody else can say, how was I born without karma? And how karma could have been gained without free will? Karma can be gained only with free will. And so all these questions will come. That is the third thing. Fourth one, Bhagavan is not a Karuna Murtihi. Bhagavan is Akaruna Murtihi. So he said, Naigranya Doshaha. Because Bhagavan is giving a lot of sorrow to people, because we see a lot of people suffering in our families, and outside other families, outside our family, everywhere. People are suffering due to various reasons. And therefore, Bhagavan has to be a sadist. Naigranya Doshaha. Then Vaishamya Dosha. Some people he keeps happy also. And so therefore he's partial. Vaishamya Dosha. Then Dharma Shastra Vaiyarthyam. Dharma Shastram is meaningless. Ethics is meaningless. Morals is meaningless. There can't be any talk of morals and ethics. Because people with no free will, animals with no free will need not have any morals. No animal needs to be given a lecture on morals or ethics. Because they don't have free will. And their behavior is based on instinct. This will be a consequence. And finally, because there is no choice being made, there can't be a conflict for a human being. Therefore, the vikalpa bhavaha, freedom from conflict, has to be there if there is no free will. But that also is against our experience. Against our experience. Therefore, we saw these things last time. And so, Shastram, with sometimes by saying, most of the time without really saying explicitly that you have choice, Shastram says that we have choice. By making us choose constantly. In Bhagavad Gita itself we saw what are the things. So, Klaibyam Masmagamaf Partha Naitatvai Upapadyate Kshrudram Hridaya Daurbalyam Tyaktvottishta Parantam. Hridaya Daurbalyam Tyaktva. Having given up this weakness of mind, Uttishta, get up. Bhagavan is giving an advice to Arjuna in the second chapter. How can Bhagavan give an advice like that when Arjuna has no free will? Uttishta is a command to get up. Having given up this kind of thinking that you have, like that he says. So clearly there is free will. And if you start looking at the Bhagavad Gita, you will get a lot of shlokas where Bhagavan is actually saying, do this, don't do that, etc., etc. So, and Arjuna himself says, Katham Bhishmamaham Sankhye. Sankhye, Aham Sankhye. How can I kill Bhishma? Dronancha Madhusudan. Like that he says. How can I kill? Which means what? I have the ability to kill. I can kill. Or I can desist from that act. He's saying, how can I kill? I've come here to kill, but how can I? That's what he's saying. I've come here. War is not a picnic. And so I've come here to fight and fight unto death. And so he knows that. And he says, Katham Ham Sankhya. How am I going to kill? Free will. Arjuna very much has free will there. And then, Eva Muktva Hrishikesham Gudakeshav Parantapa. Eva Muktva. Having said all these words, saying is based on free will. Speaking certain words, chosen words. We all choose before saying words, what to say, when to say, how to say, everything. We choose. Nayotse iti Govinda Muktva Tushnim Babuvaha. Nayotse, Aham Nayotse. I will not fight. I will not fight. I can fight, but I will not fight. Free will. Very much there. And so, Advidhi Pranipatena, Bhagavan is going to say, Pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. Two verbs are there in this. Tad vidhi. May you understand that. May you understand that tattva. May you understand that means may you make an effort. You have to understand it. Pranipatena. Approach people who can teach you this subject. So you have to approach Pranipatena. Pariprashnena. You have to ask questions also. You can't simply shake your head also. And some people like everybody shaking their heads. But I don't like really. I don't like. I need feedback. I have even see questions must be. I have to hear questions. Whether I may or may not be able to answer all questions. It is different. At least I'll accept. I don't know. I'll ask and find out. I will say all that. But questions have to be because the thinking person will get questions. Okay. Like today, we had questions. What location, where to sit, which direction to face. All these are questions because that's how our mind works. We have to, all questions have to be clarified. Only then what we do will be meaningful. And so, karmanyeva adhikaraste, Bhagavan says very clearly, adhikaraha, you have right, you have choice over action, not over results. Over that, you don't have choice. That he is very clear about that. And all shastrams are like this. Upanishad also will be like this only. Uttishtata, Jagrata, like that, you'll hear all these words in Upanishad. So, everywhere it's like this. Vrinishva in Kathopanishad we are studying. Vrinishva. Vimaivesha vrinite tena labhya. Only the person who chooses to know the Atma will know the Atma. Like that it says. So, there Yamadharmaraja is clear. Simply God is that, oh, I love this person and therefore I will give him and all that. No, no such thing. Everything has to come. Free will is given for a purpose and it has to be used with a purpose. Yeah. So, these are things we understand from the Shastram. And so somebody says, no, we don't have free will. It is difficult to argue with that person. He can say, no, you think you have free will. God makes you think you have free will. You've been fooled that you have free will. Suppose somebody says that and keeps on going like this. Well, how much can you argue? Okay, I'm fooled. You just have to say, I'm fooled. You walk away. That's all you can do. Because the problems of saying, I have no free will, we saw the problems. But one thing is, we become this non-accountability is a very big problem. And inability to think and do the right thing, all that goes away. So Swamiji says an important statement. He says, act as though you are in full control of the situation. Act as though you are in full control of the situation, correct? Then, after finishing the job, accept as though everything is in Bhagavan's hands. Act as though you're in full control of the situation. That's good advice, I thought. That means you have to do what you have to do. And you also have to know when to say enough. Correct? When to say that's it. I mean, you can't keep on doing the same wrong thing again and again. Or right thing also sometimes, if things are not working out, you have to say, this is it. Chod do bas, and let's wait for whatever happens. Okay? That also requires free will to decide not to stop doing what we want. So all this is important. And so the people who say, I don't have any free will, you have to, you can give them a slap like this and then see what happens. And see how they respond. So how dare you do it like this? No, Bhagavan wanted me to do it, that's all. You can blame Bhagavan for it, don't blame me for it. You have to put them on a spot. Suppose they get a headache. You should tell them, just get, God has given you a headache. And God will take away the headache also. It's not in your hands. Why are you taking any tablets? Don't take any tablet. All this aspirin, Tylenol and all, you should not have. Because you don't have any free will, right? You can't, shouldn't do all that. Takes medicine, then you have to ask him, oh, in these matters, free will you have to use, and some other matters, you should not use free will. Is that what, is that your idea of free will? So we have to think, I mean, it's not obvious, but we have to think about it, and we have to be practical. Otherwise, all the Shastra will become meaningless. And so the same person will go ask Swamiji for advice, will go or meet a lawyer for advice. All these things they do. Free will be used. For all personal things, free will be used. But when it comes to things, when things don't affect me, I will keep saying I don't have free will. So we can see those kinds of contradiction. And so therefore, one popular question will be where is free will? Okay, how much portion of a particular activity free will is acting and karma is acting? The question is always there. And we cannot answer that question. And we just know that both are acting. Both are. I think there's no need to know how much karma is acting and all. And in our daily life. But then this Jyotisha is a big science. In India, it's a very big science. And people rely on that a lot because Jyotisha is that science which reads free will. I don't need to read because I'm doing the action. So I know exactly how much free will is involved. What are we doing? What we should do? All that is clear. Planning and all we do. But karma force is there. And reading that karma force is Jyotisham. Okay. Brilliant science it is. So look at how our thinking is, right? That's why I say Indians are very, very practical people. Very practical. Because they take care of what is in our control. Of course, we have to do. What's not in our control, rely on Jyotisham. To the astrologer, have a good astrologer in your pocket. Okay. And so sometimes we may be forced to do that because life becomes so tough and disease after disease after disease, difficulty after difficulty. So maybe some force is there that's working. What is going on in my life? Why is it like this? Yeah. So sometimes they do suggest and find out what is a parihara for this. So this pariharam is a very big thing, very prayaschittam, very big it is. And so sometimes that is, we resort to that uh, to find out what's happening and if some dosha is working. What is this? Is this Shani, 7.5 year and not to Shani? Sade Sati is working. What? How many more years is this going to last? All these things are there. It is there for us to understand that there is karma. And there may be some parihara that is possible, and to neutralize to some extent that pain that is afflicting me or my family. Okay? All that is acceptable because any karma can be neutralized by another karma. Karma means a force, and a force can be neutralized by another force. Like in Ramana Dosho. So arrow is sent, and then another arrow is sent by Lakshmana. I think Lakshmana is fighting this Indrajit. I think Lakshmana fights. And so I saw that Indrajit was setting an arrow, and then Lakshmana will send another arrow. They keep on doing it. And finally, I think Indrajit's arrow hits Lakshmana. And so in the process, Lakshmana is unconscious. And so any karma also is like this. Any karma, adrishta karma, punyam or papam especially, can be neutralized by another karma. But then what happens, what they say is this, that punya cannot be, papam cannot be completely neutralized. You can do something to get the shock absorbed. It may not prevent a particular event, but you can gain the ability to absorb that. The effect of that papa karma unfolding, you have the ability to absorb. That much you will get is what they say. And so, whatever the reality is, the science is very much there, and people resort to it. And Swamiji says, don't resort to it too much. That's what they say. Because true problems will be there if you resort to this too much. If you resort to it too much, you have to live in an astrologer's house. Every day you have to visit. Morning you have to go visit the astrologer, and then he will tell you something. And one person actually told me this. He says, "Oh, this one is telling me to do this and do that yaga and this yaga and all, constantly." So one person is doing it. I quietly told him, you know what? You have to think about trying to limit this kind of engagement. And slowly he's telling, yeah, I think I have to tell him no and all that. See, once you get into this trap, it's very difficult. So he actually told me once that he is going to, I need to reduce this. What he said. So anyway, you have to, that's one drawback. Another drawback is the ability to decide and do, that ability, that agency becomes weak. Because there are certain things I have to do. No, I have to ask my astrologer and do means what? Means now I've lost my innate ability to make a decision and do things. Correct? That ability is gone. And so that's very sad. So sometimes that happens. And so be careful. That's what Swamiji says. Now, don't think astrology is some kind of a voodoo and all that. No, it's no different than prediction of earthquakes, prediction of tornadoes. Correct? A tornado is predicted. In America, they do this. They do a very good job. This low pressure or high pressure system is unfolding in the ocean, and then it keeps coming. It's 200 miles. Now it's 150 miles. It's coming. Pressure, they say winds are all going to be like this, etc. It's going to hit land at this time, etc. People take precautions. Many communities are evacuated. Look at how powerful it is. So there, the prediction of an event that's going to happen later. And so here also, same thing. Astrology also does the same thing. Tornado prediction cannot eliminate the tornado. Earthquake prediction cannot eliminate the occurrence of the earthquake. Correct? Cannot eliminate. Exactly like in astrology. It will not eliminate a particular event that will happen. But you can be prepared, mentally prepared, and otherwise also prepared. Okay? That we should keep in mind. So all these factors, and this is not new to you. And somebody said recently, big Himalayan plate or something like that is there, and so there is some kind of earthquake that they are predicting in that area. And so those are all good sciences to we need to know what's what, etc. So therefore, when Bhagavan says Nimitta Matram Bhava, one is saying, surrender your will to what? Surrender your will to Dharma. To Dharma. Because I am Dharma. Surrender your will to Dharma means use your will to follow Dharma. That is the meaning of surrender. That is the biggest surrender. Because as I said the other day, if you want to follow Dharma, your choices will start reduce. Your choices will reduce. Right? I mean, earlier today I was giving that example. Somebody alone, ladies crossing the road, and you're in a hurry to do, because we are always in a hurry. And then you saw her crossing the road and she's struggling. In India, it's always a struggle. People will cross the roads anytime, at any place of the road, and this will happen. Constantly it will happen. The drivers have to be alert. And so the lady's crossing. And she will need help for sure. So you saw it. Now what will you do is the question. If you don't do anything, you'll have a conflict. Why? Because you were right there. And you can't ignore this. If I walk away, I'll have a conflict. And I have to do something, but this will take another 5 minutes if I get into this. And I don't have 5 minutes. I'm late for an appointment, something like that. So conflict will be. And but choice get limited. See, once that thing is there, choices will get limited. You have you can do a lot of things now, But right now, I really do only one thing. I spent 2 minutes to help the lady cross. That's it. What choice is there? There's no choice of the. I'm asked to make this choice. The dharma is asking me to make this choice. Correct? So choice gets limited. Choice is there, but it becomes limited with dharma. Therefore, align here, Arjuna. Align your actions with dharma. That is the meaning of nimittama. And earlier also, Bhagavan said this. Krishna said that. Swadharmam api chavekshya na vikampitum arhasi dharmyadhi yuddha shreyonyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. That argument, dharma argument, Krishna had already given in the second chapter. He said, even if you look at your own swadharma, you are a kshatriya. Only a brahmana can say, I will sit and do japa. Kshatriya cannot say, I will sit and do japa. It won't work. It won't work. In these kind of situations, you have to take up arms. You have to stand up and secure. You have to stand for security. And so dharma mapi cha avekshya. And so, na vikampitam arhasi. Again there. Free will is there. You have a free will and you have to follow dharma. He said that. Same thing here also. Don't give in to raga dvesha. Raga dvesha is always there. And then katham bhishma maham sankhe. So raga dvesha is kicked in. And then my grandfather, he is a dharmic person. Well, he's not a dharmic person. He forgot that. Why? Because this raga dvesha has blinded him. Raga dvesha has blinded Arjuna so much. He doesn't even realize that these people are all, even though they are great in their own respective fields, Arjuna has to realize that a dharmic person siding with adharma is not a dharmic person. As simple as that. That's why many scholars say that Bhishma is the cause of this war. Long before war was declared, the war was destined to happen because of Bhishma. Because he is such a powerful person in Mahabharata. And the minute he decided to keep his mouth shut, and this vow, Bhishma, that vow and all is there. So be careful before making vows. Be careful. Ask somebody before making. And so therefore, that conflict Arjuna had, and aligned with dharma. And no human being can say, I don't know dharma. I don't know right wrong. No human being can say. Why? Not acceptable in the court of law. Judge cannot, no defendant can tell the judge, I did not know that if I shoot, that it will hurt other person. I did not know that I should not use the gun. I did not know it was illegal to use the gun. Okay, legal, that is legality. I may be not aware of legality. That's possible. But I did not know that I should not steal. I did not know that I should not steal. Okay. Very, very catchy argument it is. If you and I are a judge, we have to learn to respond to that. In America, what they do, they suddenly you'll get called for something called jury duty. In India, I'm not hearing that. I don't know why. I think they don't want citizens to be on the jury because citizens are honest people. And these corrupt people will not allow honest people to come on the jury. I think so. This is my own theory. Okay, you may disagree with me, but
we don't have a jury system here.
Okay, you don't have a jury system.
Jury system here.
Okay, that's correct. We don't have.
It was abolished in the 1950s.
What about Britain? Does it exist in Britain or no?
It is there in Britain.
It is there in Britain. They abolished it here. So again, same mischief only. This is all. One has to do some research on this. Why it's abolished?
Well,
And
It was
see,
abolished after
I think they
independence.
didn't give the status to Indians to be able to use their prudence, right? That was the reason.
correct, correct. Not capable. These people will make decisions in their favor, but we don't want them to do that. Exactly. That's the reason. So anyway, their jury duty. So I also got called several times. I went to the court, and there they will select they'll call so many people, and then the two parties will be there. They'll interview you. You have to answer some bunch of questions. And then if they think, my goodness, this guy is too dharmic, and then either they will want you or they will want to reject you because they know that my candidate is not on the right. And so I got rejected. I got rejected several times. And so, I don't know, they have some criteria. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So that jury, the defendant cannot plead guilty to them. I cannot steal, cannot be said. Judge has to be smart enough to answer that question. Smart enough to answer the question. I didn't know that I should not abuse my children, should not hit my children. Suppose somebody says that. I didn't know if he says. Not acceptable. Okay. And so, therefore, we saw all these things. And Swamiji says, you go to an astrologer. Go. He doesn't say don't go to an astrologer. Go. But don't go to more than one. Because what people will do, they will go. If they don't like the advice, they will say, let's go see another person. One person will say, this boy is the best boy for your girl. Other person will say, don't even go anywhere near this family. That's it, over. Now what will you do? You would have thought, oh my God, we should not have done this. We should have just gone with the marriage or something. The two contradictory things will happen. And so be careful. That thing comes to my mind. And so, so now he's saying here, yeah. So Nimitta Matram, we spent a lot of time on it, making sure we understand that it means follow dharma. Finally, that's what it means, follow dharma. And where our choices really manifest. Choice means what? It's not like we have options. Choice, we should not take it as option. Choosing to do something. Okay. The main choice is dharma and adharma. That is where the choice is there. That is why we have two words. The word dharma itself exists because there is adharma out there also. Not the most appropriate action. Okay. Because that is there, choice has to be deliberately we have to choose. That deliberation is there. Maximum deliberation will occur whenever we have this sankata. Choosing among various actions, it's okay. What vegetables to buy, what to cook today, etc. That we can decide. It wouldn't matter what we decide. You're not going to die if you make if you use, some okra instead of beans on a particular day. Nothing will happen. So those choices don't have much impact. But this matter, dharma, adharma matter, going to make a big difference. So we saw all that. And so we also translated this shloka last week, I think. And so now let's look at this next shloka. We'll do for a couple of 5 minutes or so, then we'll stop. 34th shloka. Let's chant that. I think we translated the 33rd shloka, correct? Yes. Yeah. Dronancha bhishmancha jayadrathancha
द्रोणं च भीष्मं च जयद्रथं च
karnam tathamnyapi yodhaviran
कर्णं तथान्यापि योद्धवीरान्
maya Maya hatansvam jahimam yatishtaha.
Maya hatasvam jahimaya vyatishta.
Yatishtaha.
Jahima vyatishta.
Yudhyasvajeta rane sapatnan.
Yudyasva jitasi rane sapatna.
Dronancha bhishmancha jayadhratancha.
Dronancha bhishmancha jayadratancha.
Karnam tathanyapi yodhaviran.
Karnantatanyapi yodaviran.
I think it is Karnam Tathanyanapi Yodhaviran.
Karnantatan tatanyanapi yodaviran.
Maya hatansvam jahimam yatishtaha.
Maya hatasvam jahimam vyatishtaha.
Yudhyasva jetasi rane sapatnan.
Yudyasva chetansi rane sapatnan.
Yeah. So the time has come. Bhagavan is saying the time has come. Dronancha Bhishmancha Jayadhratancha. Time has come for you to fight, and for these people. These people's days are numbered. Very unusual. He's saying that the time has come because Prarabdha Karma has caught up with all of them. Jayadratha is the husband of Durshala. Durshala is the only sister of Duryodhana, of the Kauravas. And so the time has come. And Karnam, of course, Karnaha. So the one that you really are you have no conflict fighting against Karna. But other people may be there, Dronam, Bhishmam, etc. Tathanyapi, Tathanyanapi, Tatha Anyan Api Yodha Viran. And plus lots of other people who are great fighters, great warriors. And so many great people are assembled. Both sides, not just one side, both sides. And so it's time for you to fight. Why? Maya Hatan. Maya Hatan. They are already killed by me. Okay, we saw that. Second time he is mentioning. Earlier he said, Maya Nihataha, he said in the previous shloka. Here, Maya Hatan, they're already killed by me. And so that kind of appears like a prediction. But it is basically, a person who follows adharma, simply living life is of not much value. Simply, the heart is beating. It's not of much value. And so that's understood here. And so it says Maya Hatan. So it seems like a prediction. And suppose somebody says, at home, somebody's sick, and there is a prediction. Prediction is what? He will survive. Don't worry. Very sick, but he will survive. That's good. You know why it's good? Because now they don't have to spend money on medicines and doctors and all that. Why? Because he will survive. He will survive, right? So you don't have to do anything. Let him suffer temporarily. It is a temporary suffering, Suppose they say, no, he will not survive. Then also you don't have to spend any money, right? Because he will not survive. He will not survive. But there is a flaw in that one. We can't do that. That's not the right thing to do. So, reason they say he will survive. What? Reason is because you are taking care of the person very well. And so you're doing the right things. Therefore, he will survive. So survive. Karma and free will, both are active, right? He will survive is a result of both karma and free will. Remember, we can't say it's a result of karma alone. Or continue to do what is to be done, and he will survive. That's the meaning of that prediction. And so that is why this thing is called, the outcomes are always called adrishtam. Punyam papam is always adrishtam because it's not visible to us. We don't know the outcomes. And so we can't rely on. And so that it's very tempting to predict something. But here, Arjuna, it's a bit unusual because of the drishti he has. Bhagavan is saying, don't worry. He'll go ahead and fight, is what is being said. And Tvam Jahi. Again, another look at the free will again. Tvam Jahi. Jahi means you finish them off. You destroy them. You kill them. Jahi is kill. It's an order to kill. Okay. And so you stop getting stuck under this manomaya kosha. There are koshas. We all Vedanta students know manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, etc. So better move from manomaya kosha to vijnanamaya kosha. All emotions, you're stuck in this manomaya kosha. Push yourself a little higher. Vijnanamaya kosha. Use that viveka. Use viveka. Don't fall trap to impulse. Use dharma. Fall trap to ragadvesh. Okay. And so use the intellect, not the mind. That's the idea. Use the left side of your brain, not the right side of your brain in this case. I think I'm right. Left is intellect. So therefore, even Krishna might say, yeah, I killed Kamsa, my own uncle I killed. You know that? So because Arjuna is thinking that Krishna, it's easy for you to kill people. You kill people who are not related to you. But no, Arjuna, Krishna did kill Kamsa, his own uncle. And so don't worry. It's possible. Sometimes it's right to kill your own people. Okay.
Even Shishupala also, Guruji.
Shishupala, correct?
His cousin.
Cousin. Therefore, if you want a role model, yeah, you do have a role model. Ma vyatishta. Do not fear. Do not get confused. Do not be depressed. Aya sanchalana yoho. So that vyat means to waver. Do not waver. Do not vacillate like that. It's time to make up your mind. Okay, life is like this. So you shouldn't. You just tell yourself that and move on. And you're not a baby. Yudhyasva. And you again fight. Why? Because you're a Kshatriya. Shatat trayate iti Kshatriyaha. Shatat trayate iti Kshatriyaha. Okay. Kshat means dharma, pida. Shat. Shatat trayate. One who protects people from pida, protects people from adharma, is called a Kshatriya. That is a definition of the word Kshatriya. And so, therefore, Yudhyasva, you're born to fight. That's your varna, Kshatriya varna. And so, Jetasi appears like a prediction. You will win. Future tense. You will. Jeshyasi, you will win. This idea. It's a very interesting thing, right? Because Bhagavan is now actually telling Arjuna. Arjuna had a doubt. Nachaitad vidmah kataranno gariyaha. Yadva jayema yadi vano jayeyu. Yadva jayema yadi vano jayeyu. Either we will win or we will lose. We don't know. That's what Arjuna had said earlier. Here, Bhagavan seems to say, no, you will win. He seems to be saying that. And so you will win. Because Dharma is on your side. You already won. Once Dharma is on your side, you are a winner. And physical death and all is not that important in Dharma. Rane sapatna. Sapatna jahi. Patna. Patna means, sapatna means enemy. Ari. Shatru. Sapatna means Shatru. And so, win over your Shatrus, your enemies. Where did we see this word? Sapatna. Did we see it before in Bhagavad Gita? Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat yachokam uchoshanam indriyanam avapya bhumavasapatnamriddham Rajyam Suranam api chadhipatyam. So, avapya bhumau asapatnam riddham. Asapatnam. There he uses the word, Arjuna uses the word asapatnam riddham. So, even if we get a kingdom which is asapatnam, which is unrivaled, there, the meaning of asapatnam is unrivaled. Here, sapatnam, rival, enemy, shatru, sapatnam. So we've seen it before. And so may you go fight and destroy all the people that are waiting to be, that are already killed by me, so to speak. Do not be afraid, like that he's saying. So let's translate the shloka. May you destroy, literal translation of Jahi. May you destroy Drona, Bhishma, the Jayadratha, and Karna. May you destroy Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, and Karna. As well as other heroic warriors. As well as other heroic warriors. Who are already destroyed by me. Who are already destroyed by me. Full stop. Already within brackets. Full stop. Do not be afraid. Semicolon. Fight. Do not be afraid. Fight. Full stop. You will conquer the enemies in battle. You will conquer the enemies in battle. You will conquer the enemies in battle. May you destroy Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, and Karna, as well as other heroic warriors who are already destroyed by me. Full stop. Do not be afraid. Fight. Full stop. You will conquer the enemies in battle. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om